Hello there. Welcome back with me in nature as I do another walk and talk. But for those of you who've been around my channel before, you might notice that there's something a little different about my background. I'm no longer in a desert, as this is my first ever walk and talk in the Netherlands. And that's kind of special for me for a lot of reasons, but I'll wait to kind of get into that because I want to kind of talk about the purpose of this video. And it's mostly to give a little bit of an update of my life and to kind of get some expectations of what's coming in the future. So here we go. So this year has been kind of wild for me. I told a lot of you that I moved to the Netherlands, and I did, but it's been pretty unpredictable as visa stuff has been an issue, and how there was just a lot of unpredictability in all of the paths to that. And I haven't actually lived in a single place for more than 3 months this entire year since January. So it's been pretty wild. And tomorrow I actually leave for America. I actually leave for America to go and prepare to get married. And that's kind of a wild thing to think too, because up until recently, I didn't even know if that was going to be my path. When I was still a Protestant, I kind of resigned myself to singleness for a variety of different reasons, and I'm actually sort of grateful that I realized that path was not probably the best thing for me before I came into Orthodoxy, because I probably would have dived head first into monasticism. But yeah, the last 2-3 years have kind of really shifted everything for me. And it's been a weird year to see all of that change be reflected and kind of get cemented in my life. And yeah, it's got me thinking a lot about this channel and how that then reflects this new part of where I'm going to and how to operate with all of those things. And I've always expressed this channel as being somewhat of a extension of myself. It isn't me, but it's certainly an expression of myself and a way to participate in the world in a sense. And I wanted it to reflect where I am and what I cared about and the things I thought were worth moving towards. And in some ways, I feel like my postings and my participation with this little project have sort of mirrored my inconsistency with the stage of life I'm in, which has its own little beauty to it. But I think about that a lot, because part of what this channel was doing is to help me escape certain types of information consumption and like unhelpful consumption patterns. And it has done that for me, but I think with this last year, it's been a struggle of trying to overcome certain types of consumption, and not the type of consumption that I thought was making me super anxious, but certainly a type that I don't know if is healthy. Instead of, watching lectures online and trying to chase down ideas, I was watching a lot more movies and a lot of more silly things on YouTube. And I think part of it was to cope with this incredible imbalance that I had in life, because I'm not only living in a different country, I did that to lead towards marriage. And with that, I had to deal with culture shock and learning a language and building my businesses from abroad, and also deciding at what level those things should manifest themselves in my life, if I should go full time in those things or I should keep splitting my time the way I've been. And yeah, it's been challenging in good ways and bad, and I've made lots of decisions along the way that have been growing and changing, and it's all cultivating here to this moment where I am taking my final step to closing this past chapter of my life and moving on to the next. And that's why for me, I think having this video be a walk and talk in the Netherlands and being the last video that I post for the year has a big representation for me of this place from moving one way to another. And I don't know how this will all go. I've been trying to get away from online participation, particularly after my festival runs. I had a couple comedy festivals, and I had my festival for the Bridges of Meaning Discord that I went through, and that was quite a run of festivals. And I've tried to cut myself off from that and give me some space so that I can focus on this new path that I'm moving towards. That's at my doorstep. But there have been things that have been distracting me and pulling me back in. And I don't know whether or not that participation is good or bad, but I stand by it. But I'm being willing to take the step to fast from it so that I can participate in something I think that is more important to me and been more meaningful and helpful than the things I have participated in online. And I'm an Eastern Orthodox Christian, so the idea of feasting and fasting is pretty common in that faith. And while I fast from this part of the world that has given me such joy and has been my feast for the last year, in some ways I see that's exchanging for a different feast, a more meaningful feast of being able to celebrate this new life that I'm entering into, and this beautiful thing I didn't know if I would ever have, and this reminder of what I fight for and why I move forward in trying to have better conversations and try to create spaces where gardens can grow. And I've never said this publicly, but I always thought there was something sort of interesting and symbolic of walking in the desert. Because in a lot of ways, when I lived in the desert, it reflected in my own life of feeling in want and in need of something more. And I lived in the desert most of my life, and I love living in the desert. But when I moved here in January, I said goodbye to it, and made the choice that it wouldn't be my home. And joke was on me. I was back there 3 months later in another season of drought and questioning and moving forward. But this trip that I'm moving towards is, for me, a real goodbye to the place where I came from, and being willing to be surrounded by green instead of brown pokey things. And it's a bittersweet moment because I love the desert. I grew from the desert. It challenged me. It grew me. And it taught me what it was to survive even when you didn't feel like there was enough water to sustain. But I am looking forward to this new challenge of living in the Netherlands, and it's more of a swamp than a garden, I suppose, but taking my life from what felt like wandering in the desert, trying to find something, to entering a space where I can learn to tend something that's bigger than myself. And because of that, I don't know what it will mean for the future. I'm certainly going to be back doing this channel and talking about the things that are important to me. And I'm going to keep allowing this thing to reflect who I am and what I believe in and what I want to move towards. But I was told by my priest not to think about the future, to have joy in the moment and celebrate the thing that's happening to me, and I'm choosing to do that. And I just want to say thank you for all of you who watch my channels and support and come and talk to me, and for everybody on the Bridges of Meaning Discord who has been helpful, and all of those who came to my festival, who participated and had these beautiful conversations and connections. And I didn't get to converse with many of you the way I'd like, but I got to see all of you do this thing that not many people do, which is engage and connect with honesty and sincerity. And yeah, it was a beautiful thing. So thank you for everybody. I will be back. I am going to be taking Discord off my phone and off my computer, and I won't be checking it. And I'm going to, for the most part, stop watching YouTube and just try to enjoy the moment that I'm entering into. And so I will likely not be answering or responding to anything that is put my way. But if you do want to reach out to me, I have an email in the description box below. So just like my comments, I'm probably not going to answer to everything, but I'm much more likely to answer if you email me. But I will read them and I will ponder them, and that's a way that if you really need to talk to me or you have something to say, you can connect with me. So to close, I'm going to finish this walk through this little farmland, which is now a 5-minute walk from my house, and have a joy that I no longer have to be scared of rattlesnakes, and my biggest fear is goats. So here's to not getting attacked by a goat. See you later.